Hello, everyone, and welcome to Creating Smart, Innovative Campuses for a Sustainable Future. This is a Times Higher Education webinar in partnership with Siemens. My name is Alistair Lawrence. I'm the head of branded content at TH, and I'll be chairing today's discussion. I'm delighted to be joined by a panel of experts from academia and industry, who are Hassan Abdallah, who is Vice President of the University of East London, Firaz Al-Loubi, who is Head of Higher Education at Vertical from the Middle East at Siemens, Ali Al-Swahili, who is Acting Vice Chancellor at the American University of Sharjah, and Simon Burgess, who is Head of Sales and Solution Development at Siemens. There will be an opportunity to put questions to the panel during the final 5 or 10 minutes of the hour that we have scheduled. So please feel free to write any questions in the box in Zoom, and we'll answer as many as possible towards the end. There will also be a full recording of this webinar published on the THE website, alongside a summary article with the key takeaways, should you wish to revisit this discussion or share it with your colleagues. An email containing a recording of the article will be sent to everybody who has registered for this event post-event. As universities adapt to a changing world, investing in digital transformation has become a strategic priority. By leveraging smart infrastructure and advanced technologies, institutions can drive operational excellence, enhance their reputations, and build more resilient campuses. Sustainability and decarbonisation emerge as the natural outcome of these investments, and they contribute to long-term success. However, digital transformation also presents significant challenges, both strategically and culturally. So today we'll be diving into how to address these with some interesting case studies and also a general discussion about how to enable innovation and promote best practice. I'd like to begin by talking to our two university panelists at the work that they've done at their respective institutions. So we can discuss how institutions can leverage smart infrastructure to enhance energy efficiency, reduce emissions, drive operational excellence. I know the University of East London, has made sustainability part of its core strategy. So perhaps we can start by talking about what that means to UEL, why is it important, and how has it become a strategic priority? Please, Hassan.
Thank you. Very good morning, your colleagues. Sustainability and decarbonization has been central to our Vision 2028, which aims to address grand challenges such as climate change and decarbonization. And we see that as a corporate social responsibility, which has to be addressed collectively. And we all know that air pollutions and CO2 contribute to around 7 million deaths per annum globally. So it's a major challenge in this case. So our key stakeholders in terms of students, staff, and the community, sustainability really matters to them. And our collaboration with an innovation with Siemens drive that sort of really change towards achieving net zero goals. We produce about 4,750 CO2 tons of CO2 per annum, and we aim to reduce that to zero by 2030. We aim to equip our talent pipeline with the right skills and competencies to be able to lead the green agenda worldwide. We embedded that as well in our curriculum. We work closely with our local authorities. We also work on research and development in order to introduce and innovate new solutions for the green energy, and that's really matters to us. And the way we working with Siemens on that has been actually quite impressive, because we together started to innovate new ways of how would we be able to achieve that net zero through three actually pillars or stages. To reduce our energy consumption and produce more renewable energy, and also to have a living lab, which is basically a platform which has transformed every single part of the whole institution to be able to test and calibrate and innovate new ideas. So that's also moving into a next level up, which we call it Building X, which is a digital platform, basically integrates all the smart technologies in a building to optimize energy performance.
So Hassan, when you talk about things like building a talent pipeline and creating living labs, these are things that perhaps sometimes sit quite separately from when people think about operational excellence and improving the bricks and mortar of their physical campus. So, I mean, how have you managed to get buy-in from the stakeholders across your institution to adopt such a holistic strategy?
That's a very, very important questions. I think it's very important to basically have a very clear strategy, and net zero and sustainability has been central to our strategy. Also, we have our key stakeholders who fully appreciate the corporate responsibility in that case. So we embedded actually in our curriculum sustainability. So there is sustainability module. We have access as well to students to the living lab, which basically enrich their understanding and their experience in basically green energy. We have also from Siemens wide range of activities ranging from hackathons for our students, 5,000 sort of access to 5,000 students on a sustainability platform. We also have access globally to Siemens supply chain, which is over again about 5,000 companies where we maximize our impact this way. So it's really about ensuring that all the key stakeholders basically have the same sort of understanding and interest and focus. And you try also to highlight to everyone basically the impact climate change and has on us in terms of health, in terms of well-being, in terms of basically the our life in general.
Something that gets cited by a lot of university leaders around the world is that students now almost expect universities to have these ethical considerations when it comes to committing to net zero and decarbonisation. Is that the case at UEL?
Indeed, indeed. I mean, students, staff, sustainability, and net zero really matter to our students, staff, and the community. We also working on the local with the local authority because they're of their green agenda. We also working with the London Authority, the City Hall, because of also their agenda to make London greener. So you will see that's at the heart, basically, of everything we do, with great interest from staff, students, and other key stakeholders.
Okay, thank you. Simon, if I can bring you in for a moment, we've spoken about how this becomes a holistic strategy for many institutions and universities. The network that Hassan mentioned is interesting. So it seems like Siemens are really building out a holistic offering and trying to plug their partner universities into as many opportunities as possible when they partner with you on projects like this.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. So net zero represents a significant investment for any university, tens of millions of pounds. And really, when we started this journey together, UEL and Siemens, we had one value that was shared, which is actually through partnership, we can leverage a lot more additional value. In a conventional transactional relationship, you spend £50 million and you get £50 million of stuff. Through partnership, actually, you can leverage double, triple the size of your investment in additional value. And that could be around things that help to attract students, help to retain students, help to enhance your academic reputation, help to bring you additional research opportunities. So we agreed that actually, if we partner together, there are mutual benefits for both organizations that help us to achieve the goal of net zero, but also do so much more for both organizations.
And when you're looking at the actual campus and the location, I mean, this is something that's been thrown into flux a lot by the digital transformation that happened during the pandemic, where so much of teaching and learning shifted to online. But how important is it now to be able to almost build kind of like these autonomous spaces and campuses that are ecologically compliant. Is that something that is key to getting the community of the university invested in kind of having those in-person interactions and using physical spaces again?
I think the University of East London really stands out as a civic university. It is part of an integral part of its local community, and the campus is in itself a community asset. And I was there last week actually, and really surprised by the different mix of people that you get coming onto the campus and using those facilities and benefiting from all the facilities and the learning that's taking place there. So yeah, I think it's really helped to enable UEL. This journey to smart and to net zero has helped UEL to not just recover from the pandemic, but actually springboard from that pandemic and be something that delivers huge amounts of value to the people of East London.
Okay, thank you. Ali, if I can bring you in to talk about the American University of Sharjah. Obviously, you're in a completely different environment and a very different type of institution in many respects. But like UEL, AUS has committed to achieving its own net zero targets by 2050. So can you tell us a bit about how AUS has developed the roadmap for that, please, and how you plan to achieve it and what you think the big challenges you are that you'll face? So when you're giving yourselves a couple of decades to do this, but clearly you're doing that. You've set that timeline for a reason.
Yes, thank you very much first for the invitation. And I would like to say hi, good afternoon, good morning to everyone joining us. And I think it's a great opportunity to talk about sustainability. I am a sustainability advocate. I joined the university 1 year ago, and now I play a very important role as a Vice Chancellor, Finance and Admin. But previously, I was in this industry for the last 27 years, and I noticed the different growth, or let's say the different potential for sustainability to be embedded. And then during the financial crisis 2008, we lost a little bit of momentum, and then we went back. And I can see the last 5 years, or maybe even last 7, 8 years, we have a big push in the Gulf countries, UAE, Qatar, Saudi Arabia. The government is leading the sustainability agenda in a bigger way, looking at circular economy, looking at the whole, supply chain or the whole life cycle for sustainability to be embedded. And I think the university is a starting point. Since I joined the university and being in the academia, I even wrote a book about impactful, mega projects. We build mega projects, and university are mega projects. And they are not really built in one time. They are built over years, and they have legacy, 20 years, 100 years. So this is where I think there is a lot of fundamentals to sustainability that we have to embed in what we do, like the life cycle assessment. We need to look at, of course, the most important thing, which is collecting data and creating the right approach toward achieving sustainability. I have to say the Sustainability Office in American University of Sharjah, with the campus development team, with the academia, have done a great job. Since 2018, we have started with the ASHRAE rating. In 2018, we were bronze. In 3 years, in 2021, we've achieved silver. And in 2024, we have now achieved gold. And we're going, inshallah, to achieve platinum. And of course, we look at the 5 framework focus, which is the academic and research. We look at engagement. We're looking at operation of the campus, which is very important. The planning and administration element of sustainability is also important. Of course, also innovation and leadership. And, we have huge commitment from the leadership, being the founder of the university, Sheikh Dr. Sultan, and the current president, Sheikh Abdur, to sustainability in all aspects of what we do today.
I'm sorry to interrupt, Ali. It was interesting that you mentioned the frameworks that they're working on. Was there one particular criteria that was key for embedding your strategy or advancing your strategy? I'm just thinking of anyone in the audience today who's at the start of this journey and is looking.
I think it's engagement.
Okay.
Engagement. Building awareness of the importance of sustainability and climate action among students, faculty, staff, as well as external stakeholders. If you build that engagement, everybody will be part of it. So I think that's a big, fundamental element. And I think the GCC countries now, there's a big awareness about sustainabilities, and not just with the businesses, also with individuals. So I think engagement is very important. Of course, academic engaging with student, and as Dr. Hassan says, making the campus as a life lab for student to utilize and demonstrate. We want people to graduate with the sustainability mentality. Whatever he does, wherever he goes, he carry this culture of, preserving, the resources and looking at the future in a better way by embedding sustainability in what they do. And we have many partners in the university that work with us in the 3 different research centers that we have. Today, we have 3 different research centers, which are the Material Research Center and Energy, Water, and Sustainable Environment, and the Entrepreneurship and Innovation. So really exciting time for me as a guy from the industry, joining the university and looking at huge effort is put, and inshallah more efforts gonna be put in. Of course, we are a proactive advocate for pivotal role of higher education, playing champion sustainability and climate action through education research. But also we have led the UAE effort to capture greenhouse gas emission. So, and we've helped the government also to create the academy for that. The academy is called, there is a name for the academy. Yes, it is the UCN Carbon Neutrality Pillar. And the academy, of course, it is the UAE Alliance of Climate Action, UACA. So we are playing an important role across the UAE, closely with the government and other universities within the ecosystem of UAE.
And prior to your prior to your work in higher education, you were operations director of Burj Khalifa, which, if people don't know, is the world's tallest tower. There must have been a significant undertaking. Are there any lessons that you bring from working on that sort of project to higher ed when it comes to the things you're talking about, like particularly creating engagement and also the nuts and bolts of energy efficiency?
Yeah, this is why I put all my experience in a book, and it's available in Amazon. I'd love to ship a copy to everyone. And I do that because my return on investment is to educate people about it. And I always say, if we want to be successful, do we have technology to our end to make, to understand building performance? Like we need an X-ray. I always say when I do lectures, I need an X-ray that will help me to understand building performance. And that X-ray is not available today. Solution provider like Siemens and other, they are also thinking the same way. Can we have building talking to us and telling us what's wrong with them? Is it a maintenance problem? Is it competency of people? Is it the weather, the adjustment? And I think the biggest challenge is operating the building in the right way. It's not maintaining the building, it's operating the building. I learned this over the years. And of course, my experience in Burj Khalifa was an amazing opportunity for me to lead the consortium to take over the tower from one of the biggest construction consortium, and to make sure that we don't do a handover, we do a building birth certificate. Because I think we make a lot of gaps when we hand over buildings. And this is why it's the building birth. You consider a building like a baby, and when you hand over, you transition from construction to operation, you need a lot of information. And this is what we are, missing, not just in GCC, worldwide. The transition, the life cycle, there is a lot of gaps while you're moving from construction design to construction to handover to operation. And this is what I learned through my experience. And I think I'm proud to say that the team here in the campus has done a great job to improve the building performance after refurbishing. After 20 to 25 years, we have taken over many of the academic buildings where we improve the energy efficiency by 30%, by improving the fabric, looking at the different way of providing air conditioning solutions. So I think there is a lot to do. And this is where, we need to ensure that we work a lot with mega projects. And I think that is very important, being universities, hospitals, schools, to make sure they understand sustainability is about the life cycle. It's not about just the operation stage. You have to understand how can you get sustainability embedded into the design and into the handover, because unfortunately, we have a lot of schools and universities that are designed to be sustainable, but when you start handing over and operating, you lose a lot of momentum. And this is why
It
we
comes
are here
back to
today.
your original point about engagement being the absolute most important thing, because I guess it's, you know, like Simon and the other panelists have mentioned, you're trying to build something that has longevity, and you need
Exactly.
buy-in from different stakeholders, including your student body, which of course will be refreshing every 2 years,
Yes.
3 years, and it's tricky. Firas, can I bring you in, please, just to talk about the Middle East more generally, the trends and the challenges that all of our panelists are talking about today. Do you think there are any particular challenges that are unique to the Middle East, or any advancements that are unique that the rest of the world can learn from?
Thank you, Elsa. Good afternoon to my fellow panelists and everyone joining us online. I see that we have around 120 people now. I want to thank them for taking the time to be with us and having this discussion. I'm very glad to be part of this discussion today. And education is a very important sector, and making it as a pilot to the industry is very important. As Dr. Hassan and Simon said, what they said is very crucial, actually, because what they've mentioned is they're setting the blueprints of the campus of the future rather than just implementing technology. And that's what makes higher ed different, actually. In American University of Sharjah, actually, they have the capability and the knowledge to be a real enabler of the national agenda, as Ali mentioned, and to drive the net zero. What is special in the Middle East, especially in the Gulf region, is that due to the high temperature and the weather, the cooling load is the major consumer of energy in any building, which accommodates up to 75% of the power consumption. What we see is universities started having more demand for our energy performance services, where we're offering solutions from demand control to comfort AI applications to actually replacing the whole chiller plant. And that makes sense because by just upgrading any chiller plant that is older than 5 years, we can achieve more than 25% energy saving. Now, what Ali has mentioned is that people in the Middle East started to take a holistic approach to net zero. Here, universities realize that designing an optimal design for a new campus and making it future ready is actually the most difficult task to get right. It is the most important task also. So when we design a building, in the Middle East, we design it for a temperature of 46 degrees outside and based on an occupancy profile. But actually this temperature of 46 and the occupancy profile, they don't come together at the same time. So we design for the peak conditions, but these peak conditions in the Gulf area only happens 2% of the lifetime of the building. And if you look at this, you can see the importance of having holistic look at the energy performance. So in the last 1 year, we see that universities are more attracted to talk about space optimization and the indoor air quality, and linking these two use cases into the energy performance and how they can improve energy performance by using indoor air quality and space optimization insights. So when we have these two use cases, as Ali said, the buildings will start talking to us to tell them what actually needs to be done.
And presumably that enables you to collect usable data that helps you commit to a program of continuous improvement or promoting best practice to other universities in the region who are looking to emulate AUS's success?
Definitely. We have a couple of leading universities that we're actually working on, and Ali is one of the experts in the area that would love his input. And I think there's a lot to be done. We're still at the beginning. Okay, according to the International University Association, 75% of universities have actually established strategies for net zero and improving efficiency. And but at the same time, according to the Times Higher Education report, more than 54% of universities are struggling to meet the deadlines. And in the Middle East, there is no difference. We're at the same stage. Okay, These challenges are mainly, as Ali said and Dr. Hassan said, is transforming the existing infrastructure that have evolved over decades, maybe 20, 30 years. So how to let these systems talk to each other and get the insight, which is the patient, as Ali said, telling you what exactly he's feeling, where is the pain, how he's sleeping, how he's waking up, are the occupants treating him well?
I see. Hassan, obviously it's not 46 degrees in East London, thankfully. But you have different challenges when it comes to like the historic buildings in the campus and that you are like you're right in the heart of a major metropolitan city. So, I mean, what are some of the key challenges that you think you've overcome in order to make the progress that you have?
I would say that because it's embedded and it's a key pillar of our vision, and also because our university community, really are very, very keen about addressing the grand challenge of climate change and sustainability. I would say that there have been a broad range of basically benefits, if you like. And I would like to highlight that these great sort of benefits has been also as a result of that sort of a strategic partnership with Siemens, because you see, it's a great power of collaboration and innovation, because the two organizations are really bringing diverse minds of thoughts in order to be able to tackle this sort of grand sort of challenges and try to offer pioneering sustainable solutions from a holistic approach, from a social, economical, and environmental dimension. And also because both organizations have share same purpose, same commitments. Commitments is very, very important because, as Simon kindly outlined, there are obviously investments. So there is investment in these initiatives, there is commitment, there are effort, there are dedications, and the ambitions as well towards addressing that. And that has been really quite instrumental in making that great, basically, success and I think I would like to describe this as a transformational journey, bringing basically all the key stakeholders on board, looking at it from an education point of view, looking at it from a research and development point of view, looking at it from even a commercial point of view. Because one of the great things, which that's why I would like to turn the challenges into opportunities in this case, the Living Lab and the Building X, which is that sort of digital platform, is basically for students, researchers, and local authority to be able to test basically their new ideas and new solutions for that. And what we also trying to do, in addition to basically achieving net zero, we're currently producing 4,750. Every year, we reduce this by 10%. By having across the whole campus the solar panels, the EV charging, the water source heat pumps, which we could cover later if you like, because this is a first project in its kind in any university. It's massive, using the Thames water. So reducing that carbon footprint is quite significant, but also there is massive payback in terms of the cost. For instance, we gain or we save about over $500,000 per annum in terms of the cost of energy, because we also started producing basically renewable energy in that case. So it's very, very important actually to bring that together this way. And also what we would like to offer this service from a commercialization point of view, we have about 38 local authorities around Greater London, and aligned with the Mayor of London agenda to make London greener and so on. What we would like to offer the campus, which is a test bed in that case, to those local authorities to be able actually to come and calibrate, sense check basically any new building proposals applied for planning permission, to see whether they are adhering basically to the requirements for eco-belt and green buildings. In that case, before they grant that sort of planning permission, if you like. So I think it is these sort of things which really has been quite rewarding. I also would like to mention to you something very, very important. As a result of that collaboration and how do we have this sort of common understanding and shared goals, we managed successfully with the local authority and the Royal Dock group to establish as part of the London Enterprise Zone, the only enterprise zone across London, if you like, Royal Dock Center for Sustainability. What is it? It's basically a catalyst for skilling, for innovation, for research, and that has been quite rewarding actually to various SMEs, whether that's from a data center point of view to come and test their models, and also for, as we said earlier, students and the researchers to be able to use this. So it has been quite really rewarding this way, as long as you have at the outset a very clear strategy, and obviously your key stakeholders signed up for this strategy, because the strategy was actually developed at the outset collectively with all the key stakeholders who have the same sort of vision and purpose and commitments to deliver that.
I wanted to thank you. It's great to get an overview like that. I wanted to pick up on a couple of points that you mentioned that are particularly interesting. One is it sounds like you're making a real commitment to your students with the partnerships that you have. I mean, there's opportunities for internships, paid internships, master degree, 1v1 scholarships. I think you're also working on some app developments and things like that. I mean, how important is it to give students a sort of a tangible benefits and a very clear pathway to how they can embed with a partnership like this so that they can get some real world benefit? Because all of the headlines we see about the graduate job situation is that there's a huge amount of uncertainty in the job market, and that there's a skills gap between people leaving university and entering into the workforce. It seems like you're making a concerted effort with Siemens and the other companies in their network to close that gap and give your students more opportunities.
Oh, definitely, Alistair. I think this is a great point, because students also, when they work obviously on projects like hackathons, when they are offered internship by Siemens as a world-class blue chip company, students get really very inspired and excited, because also what has been great is that the sustainability platform provided as well by Siemens, and also some of the great experts from Siemens coming alongside the students to unlock their potential to have an in-depth understanding of really what sustainability, what net zero, what green energy, and so on. And also having these sort of very comprehensive sets of real life data where the students are actually able to access this in order to have real life projects and experiment and test various basically innovative solutions has been really very, very inspiring to students. We've been as well fortunate because of that great commitments from both parties by getting sponsored, for instance, master degrees, and these master degrees focusing on real life projects as well, provided by Siemens and their comprehensive 5,000 plus supply chain companies. And that's where the students see the great opportunity, not to just make difference to their society, locally, nationally, and globally, because the beauty of our student demography and community, they are representing over 160 nationalities. So you can see the massive global impact those ambassadors can bring in that case. And that's basically the shared goal we have, whether that's from UAL or Siemens, by working together on that. And in addition to that, because of that sort of major step change we have been making, there have been now a commitment by Siemens to sponsor a full professorship for sustainable energy in order to basically orchestra, if you like,
what is happening across the both organizations and also beyond that with the community, because that's what we are doing at the moment. We're taking the learning lessons, we're taking the major breakthrough we managed to achieve together and try to showcase that around the rest of the community to learn from. So I think that has been quite important. There is also mentorship sort of scheme. As colleagues mentioned as well, we have been winning almost every month a national or international award for the work we have been doing, whether that's in terms of the Living Lab or the transformational journey and the commitments we have been making to that. And as a result of that, we decided strategically as an institution with the help of Siemens is to embed a module, a dedicated module about sustainability or real case studies basically across the curriculum for all students, whether they are studying art, whether they are studying fashion, because fashion from a sustainable material as well as highly important, whether they're studying architecture, obviously it has to be in the fabric of everything they're doing throughout the product life cycle, as you would appreciate. Or even if you are in education, because education, you have obviously to educate the next generation about what sustainability, what the climate change challenge we are facing, the importance of green energy, and so on. And I think the triangulation of that with key areas in terms of, I think Professor Ali is absolutely spot on as well when he mentioned about user behavior, because what we're doing here as well, we're bringing positive psychology to address people behavior, how people will be more basically aware of the implications, how they behave, how they become more basically appreciative of the energy in terms of use and so on. Obviously, technology in terms of the AI, the data analytics, and the Internet of Things, and the platform within the impressive Building X digital platform, which we are scaling up at the moment, has been quite great enablers for us to be able to connect all these sort of complex organs of the three campuses together to be able to optimize the use of energy this way.
I see. But yeah, it seems like it really is like it's interesting that you're talking about not just the work in itself and the initiatives in itself that you're doing, but also it almost takes us back to Ali's earlier point about engagement being paramount. You're looking at the psychology behind what is going to get people not just interested in these topics, but staying interested in them and following you through the strategies and the plans that you have. Simon, I wanted to come to you and ask you about the benefits that Siemens has from engaging with a very sort of metropolitan and cosmopolitan student body and pipeline of talent that Hassan's describing here.
Yeah, we get all kinds of different benefits, and we were quite strategic about which universities we wanted to establish partnerships with, and UEL was right at the top for a number of reasons. If you go to UEL, it's like the whole world has just dropped onto a square mile of London. It's amazing. Like Hassan said, we've got 160 different nationalities there, and it's just the most diverse, most energetic place you can imagine. And Siemens, like every large organization, has got a diversity challenge. We're not as equal as we want to be or as we should be in terms of gender, in terms of ethnicity, or in terms of any other protected characteristic. And that's one of the problems that we've been trying to solve through this partnership. So we get access to the brightest minds from all corners of the earth, and we're able to make our organization as diverse as it can be so that we can operate with excellence.
Thank you. Ali, if we could talk a little bit about AUS doing where you are at this point in your journey. I mean, are there opportunities that you've had to foster innovation and collaboration through these kind of partnerships?
Yeah, our center of waste, water, and sustainable environment. I think this is a fundamental to what we can do more. We have a lot of collaboration with the industry toward looking at solution for a lot of challenges that we have in the built environment, being the university and other built environment. And that is very important for us. Again, it looks easy, but the effort has to be massive, and there should be an engagement all around from the academic part as well as administrative part as well as leadership. And this is why AUS is the first university in UAE to launch a comprehensive climate action plan in 2022, aligning with the ambitious UAE net zero target by 2050 initiative. So we are doing a lot to lead by example, engaging student, engaging the faculty in this and the research center that we have, and try to reflect this in not just the university itself, but even partner who work with us, because I think it's important to have that feedback loop. Even partner who work with us, they will find solutions by working with us. We have a current collaboration with a company who does window cleaning using robotics, and they have patent for that. But we said, let's work on what you do. Maybe we can reduce the noise of this machine going up and down. Maybe we reduce certain elements. So there is a lot of engagement, and being an industry person, I have a lot of access to technology or people who are passionate about finding solutions. I think we need many solutions to make our work environment or build environment sustainable, being from the soft side, cleaning, technical, technology, integration, like what Siemens does. But the most important thing, again, is you have to create this data governance and data culture. And this is what we are doing in the university by having our digital transformation steering committee. And we're having many digital transformation initiatives, being in the build side, being in the operation side, like the ERPs and many others, looking at even the student experience using an app. So there is a lot of things happening for us in the next 5 years. We have, of course, a new strategy starting 2025, going up to 2030. Sustainability is in the heart of this strategy. And we have the tools.
Sorry to interrupt. One of the questions that we've had for people submitting them is about, the argument for embedding sustainability studies across curricula at institutions. Yeah. And it seems that what you're describing is a huge opportunity for different types of jobs to be created and different types of work to be done. Do you think that AUS might align its curricula more closely to those strategic goals to give its students more opportunity, or is it doing this already?
We're doing this already, and this is why our employment rate for our graduate in the engineering is more than 90. Overall is 85. It's a great, a great percentage of employment of our graduate. My son, for example, just graduated in December, end of December, 21st of December, as an electrical engineer, like his dad. And within a week, he got a job in one of the international companies. And I told him, my son, this is not easy. You studied in an amazing university. Now you have to put an extra effort. So I think the university has done it for the last 25, 26 years now, with the commitment of our leadership. Again, the ruler of Sharjah is fully engaged in setting up the university. And 2 years ago, he had handed over the responsibility to the new president, which is Sheikh Sultan's daughter, Sheikh Abdur. She is fully engaged with us. We meet her on monthly basis. She is really an advocate of sustainability in what she does, not only in the university, but among other initiatives within the ecosystem of Sharjah. So we are proud, and I think we want to continue that momentum. I think education industry is evolving, and technology is going to be the center of that evolution.
Okay, thank you. Firas, in addition to the success stories that Ali is talking about, where highly skilled graduates with in-demand skills are being fast-tracked into good jobs, and they are having a lot of opportunities to make a real impact with their work with this type of stuff, is there a need for sort of a broader skills education that aligns to the projects and the work that needs doing? I'm thinking of areas that we've had flagged in the comments, such as things like looking at the business management of these courses and the economic impacts in them and the leadership strategy and skills that are needed in order to really drive forward and deliver them. Do you see that as part of a whole of what a company like Siemens can bring when it, because you will have people within your organization that know all of these things and perhaps can create a mutually beneficial situation where they're sharing knowledge and helping to train graduates in a way that it's difficult to do if you're just working within the university.
Yes, actually, what I would like to talk about here in this subject is that there's a lot of technology providers and there is technology partners. And what is the difference and why it's more important in the higher ed, which is actually the answer to your question. Uh, if we zoom out and look at the market, we see that every single industry in the market wants to transform into a smarter and more sustainable spaces. What makes some sectors different, for example, hospitality, healthcare, and higher ed, is that these spaces they provide more than just a space to live or work. They go beyond that. For example, higher education, they need to demonstrate their relevance to the society, and they need to drive the local agendas. And at the same time, they need to compete on a global level. They need to attract top talents, and they need to improve their rankings. Now, if you go in the Middle East or anywhere around the world, I'm sure in every university there's a team that is very eager to transform their university into a smart campus. But one of the major challenges that they will see is building a solid business case for that. The benefits of smart campuses are very clear on the long run. However, the university admin would want some tangible ROIs now. They don't want to wait 5 and 10 years. So the dilemma is that how these people can actually build that ROI. Now, if a technology provider comes and give them a solution to make it smarter or just more sustainable, the ROI will always look not very attractive. But when you step in as a technology partner and a strategic partner, and take University of East London, for example, the master's scholarship, including it in the curriculum, do these improve rankings? Yes. Do they attract top talents? Absolutely. And now, so if you have a partner doing that journey with you, the whole ROI looks different now. Okay. Now, what I want to do is to take this a step further based on what Dr. Hassan and Ali said. Siemens has a wide portfolio of products. However, we know we can't actually address the full spectrum of challenges alone. So what we have done is that we have developed a marketplace where we sell not only our solutions, but we include the offerings from an ecosystem of partners. Now, imagine some students, for example, from the research center of American University of Sharjah, and Dr. Ali tells them there is this operational issue that we're facing. Why don't you develop an application for that? And they develop. Then Siemens comes and onboard this startup into Siemens marketplace. And then Dr. Hassan suddenly on a Monday morning, sitting browsing the marketplace, find that this solution is really relevant to him and start using it. This is what's called partnership. This is what's called enablement. This is how you create a pipeline for sustainability and innovation from the university. This is how when students want to join a university look at. When they see such a story, this is the optimum. This is what I would like to see. So it's a complete picture that you need to actually close. And a technology provider can do this. You need a technology partner with you. And this is what makes people always smile when they look at the slide that Dr. Hassan showed. What is this achievement? Wow, how did you reach to that? And I think that's the only way forward. Otherwise, the ROI will be always not enough to justify what you're going to do for the next 5 or 10 years. Sustainability by itself is not only the goal. There's a financial stability for the institution. There's other things to do, not just being reduce carbon footprint. It's a whole complete story.
It seems like what you're talking about is this will ultimately be powered by a cultural change. You know, if both in terms of the university's reputation and what students and other stakeholders entering into that university's community will see in terms of what their prospects are and what they can hope to achieve over, the short, the medium, and the long term?
Definitely.
I see. Okay. Well, we've got about 10 minutes left. So in the time that we do have, I've been, thank you for everyone who submitted questions, by the way. Feel free to continue to do so. I've basically been trying to pick out the key points and the common denominators across the questions that we've been asked and feed them through to our panelists in a way that that makes sense. And in the time we've got left, I'd like to ask our university partners in particular about, what their ambitions are in terms of creating both a local and a regional and a global impact. I mean, Hassan, you mentioned already about becoming things like the civic engagement taking forms like becoming part of the London Enterprise Zone. I guess what's on your wish list of things that you would like to be able to accomplish that you're still working on?
Yeah, this is absolutely a great question, and I also would like to thank Dr. Ferras for touching on the holistic approach and basically how would you deal with that with sustainability from a holistic approach, taking a complex ecosystems on board. So I think the ambition we are doing at the moment is scalability. So we would like to scale all the great experience we have been working on with Siemens over the last 3 years to take that basically beyond the university, beyond our locality, our local community. So we currently working, for instance, on the first project in its kind in any university, which is what you call it water source heat pumps, because we do have the River Thames around us. Why don't we make good use of that to generate basically renewable energy in this case? So we're going to basically generate energy. So we have 3 campuses, one of them at Docklands, 2 in Stratford. So that campus in Docklands, the library and the Royal Deck Center for Sustainability will be fully decarbonized as a result of that. So there will be these sort of water source heat pumps immersed basically in the River Thames and then connected to the smart grid of the institution. And we would like, in partnership with the Greater London Authority and other basically governmental and companies around us, basically to connect with us in order to benefit from that sort of large project from a scalability. I think we would like to work even more and reach out to the global community, whether that's in the UK or overseas, because we have also global campus with various branches in Europe, in Greece in particular, in Egypt, in United States, and also other activities in India. How would we be able basically to take this experience over there? We would like to open up more our Royal Dock Center for Sustainability, which is a catalyst to skilling, reskilling, basically the task force, current task force, and also future talents, and to equip them basically with the skills required to make a difference to our life and our community. I think driving that change is very vital nationally and globally. That's a sort of ambition we would like basically to do moving forward with what we have achieved so far. I would like to mention very briefly that we are on track as an university to achieve the lowest carbon emissions per students by autumn 2026. And that's a commitment basically for us, which is something we will celebrate, because as I said, we have globally about 42,000 students, and we would like to scale this one more.
But thank you. Congratulations on that too. The global partnerships that you mentioned, what has been the criteria for deciding where in the world to go or where in the world to target to try and build those relationships?
Oh, this is again very important and interesting point, because when we do that sort of global partnership, it has to be based on shared values, shared purpose, shared commitments. So that sort of dimensions for us is very important.
partners who are aligned to our vision, partners who would like basically to share that sort of core values. So it's very important, basically, when we bring those partners on board to have these sort of shared values and vision together. And that's the same thing, actually, as Simon mentioned earlier, when we started working with Siemens. I mean, the work with Siemens has been for over 9 years. However, the actual project, because that we were working with Siemens on a smart infrastructure, on the smart cities and the C40 before, but when we obviously decided to do something of major impact, that's where it started that project 3 years ago.
Thank you very much. And Ali, in the time we have left, a similar question to yourself: is there a particular goal that you're setting yourself, or something that's very high up your wish list in what you want to achieve with the building on the foundations that you've laid so far?
Yeah, I think it's important for us to engage students. That's what we are already doing. But ultimately, we are going toward more data-driven organization, and this is where our transformation happening. And this will help us in achieving our sustainability agenda. I want to end up, my word here in this session, and thank you for the amazing opportunity. I have to say, and we embedded that sustainability is not an added cost; it's a clever living. We have to live, enjoy, socialize, because I look at social sustainability as the most important driver to achieving environmental sustainability and economical sustainability. And this is what we are now driving, that culture of socially sustainable. We need to talk, we need to engage more people. It's not Ali Suwaidi alone, it's the whole community that work together. And we have many initiatives that will drive bringing the community and the wider community, not just a US stakeholder, but the external stakeholders as well. Thank you very much.
Great, thank you very much. Well, we've got 2 or 3 minutes left. So, Simon and Firas, I'd like to pick your brain slightly on how anyone who's in the audience today who is, banging the drum or trying to innovate and trying to change the way that their university approaches these kind of strategic challenges, what's the first step in partnering with an organization such as Siemens? Simon, you mentioned previously that you're very strategic about the universities that you partner with. What's the advice that you give in the early stages of a relationship? What are the criteria that you're looking for in terms of satisfying yourselves that you think you can make a real impact?
I think the thing that really separates UEL out is that they made sustainability part of their corporate strategy. So that was the first thing that really alerted us to the fact that these guys were really serious about what they were wanting to do. I think the other things that are really important are around stakeholders and making sure that we've got the right senior level stakeholders from across the organization all aligned, and that the organization has that big ambition to do something more than just decarbonize, to connect it with the other core mission it has around teaching and research. And when we find those ingredients, we tend to see a partnership really successful. I don't know, Firas, what's your perspective?
I think the higher ed institutions in the UK and Europe have much bigger footprints. If we go here to the Middle East, I think what's important for us is to understand the full journey where they want to reach in 10 years, but we don't really actually need to start very big and with big investments. We can take baby steps and then land and expand. So the time that it will take to actually understand their vision and put the steps, as Dr. Hassan said, it's 7 years for them. We're ready to make that investment to actually understand and put a plan, regardless of how big is the plan or how big is the campus. Because I think whoever have small plans, in a year or two, he have to make his plans bigger. They can't just keep having small plans. Everybody needs to go down this way, or they cannot compete as an institution.
Great. Thank you very much. Right, gentlemen, that takes us to time. So once again, I'd like to thank everyone on our panel for joining us today, to Ali, Hassan, Simon, and Firas. As I mentioned at the start of the discussion, we will be circulating a recording of this discussion if you'd like to revisit it or any particular points. Those of you who've asked for the link to be sent to them, yes, it will be once you've registered for the webinar, we automatically send you out the link after the event. Anyone looking for a participation certificate, yes, we should be able to facilitate that for you as well. If you just contact us at the contact address that has been provided, we will send one out to you. So thank you all again for coming. As we've mentioned, we had over 100 people in today from all around the world. So it's great to see such a huge amount of engagement from such a diverse and international audience. We hope that you found it useful, and I hope that all of our panelists and everyone in the audience enjoyed the discussion as much as I did. So thank you all again for joining us, and we will see you next time. Goodbye.